Hello everyone, this is Dalibor Nikolovski, the French founder of Eco Green Energy. So let's learn about our company. Eco Green Energy is a company that was founded in France in 2008. It is important for you to know that our capacity of production is today 2 gigawatts. And we have added, of course, the latest TOPCon production line, which helps us increase the capacity, the efficiency, the longevity of our panel, and of course, reduce the cost for you to have a more affordable product. Thanks to all our partner and distributor and client for choosing and believing in us for so many years. We would like to tell you and express to you our willingness to fight and always deliver the best product for you. And we'll make sure that the product we deliver will be always the best quality, the best efficiency, the best long life investment, because we want to build a greener place for tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Welcome to a new episode of Business Meets Life, episode 30 already, and we are in the wonderful office of Dali. Dali, thank you so much for making time because he's traveling all around the world nowadays. So I'm glad I was catching you up in Shanghai. How are you today?
Fine, and you?
Good, thank you.
I'm so happy to be here with you and so happy that you came to our office. You did wonderful things on the net and in front of the people. In fact, many of the people I know already follow you, so I say, why not arrange some time with Janine and have the pleasure of having you here to do this wonderful interview.
Thank you so much. Okay, Dali, now tell us a little bit more about your background and what actually led you to co-found Eco Green Energy.
So a very tough background, I will say. Come from a modest family in a suburb of Paris in France, where you had to struggle to build your ways up, I will say. But this experience and adventure led me to where I am today also. So of course we build everything from scratches. So first of all, the renewable energies was one of my passion. I was really involved in that into school when I was doing my master degree. And it was one of my final projects, in fact. And then I arrived to China to do some internship, and I see this kind of thing at the beginning. So the idea was there, the name was there, so we just had to put 200% into that and create this wonderful company that is Eco Green Energy, and having wonderful people working with us.
That's amazing. And how long have you been in China now?
Since 2007, so for 17 years.
That's quite a while. Chapeau.
Yeah, merci.
What were the biggest challenges that you faced when starting the solar company in China? Because it's basically also a French brand, right?
Exactly. So the two challenges we had, so the company was founded in 2008. And in 2008, the biggest challenge was, first of all, people didn't believe in solar. This was the first thing. No, solar is just, and it was extremely expensive at that time. So first of all, the belief in solar. Second of all, make people understand that a French brand in China, it's a value-added product with the quality, with the French knowledge on technology and quality standard, because this was what we were mostly focused, because clients were complaining, so we were listening to clients and adapting ourselves to that, and still today there's never stopping improving, and this is where we come up with these challenges little by little with a better communication. So we didn't have all the social media and that we have today, but with the face-to-face communication, proving by showing the product how it works. And with the first order with the client understood and saw the difference, which we see today with clients who work with us more than 15 years. So it's quite a reward for us to have people working for so many years and accepting who we are.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, we just spoke about the challenges back then. I mean, nowadays you're also facing a lot of challenges. Tell us a little bit more, because it's so many years later.
Okay, so today solar is recognized and it's finally admitted to be the cheapest way to produce energy. So this is the first point. But unfortunately, there was an overproduction. I would say too many companies opening. So we were 20 companies 14 years ago, 15 years ago. Today there is 300 companies.
Wow.
So there was a little bit this trend where it was a hot product, and then many companies started to invest in that. And I understand the pains that it was for customer to choose between all this constructor and manufacturing. So this is the biggest challenge, and those challenges we see now is that many companies also are dying, and also clients sometimes pay too much attention to pricing and not to the history of the company. So we saw companies that were open 5 years ago disappearing today. Unfortunately, it's a sad point. But here we are today, still still strong and still building a better future. So
I mean, your company is super well established. You're in like over 75 different countries nowadays, which is super impressive. And I still remember the times in Germany when the government was giving subventions to these kind of things. Now, let's look a little bit of like, I mean, you have a long history already. Let's look into the future. And from your website, I actually saw that you were planning an IPO for this year. Nowadays, I start to do more like stock investments. So when and where can I buy your stocks, Dali?
So, of course, with this situation being challenging for overproduction and over competition, the investor were a little bit more cold on this kind of business scope, which I understand, I would say. So I believe 2025 will be a better year for us, because I would say only the strongest will survive, and only the strongest are worth to invest on. So we are focusing on now making 2025 a better year. We already have our plan. We already have our orders for 2025, to be honest. That we are pretty safe to say that 2025 will be a better year, even though it will be a more challenging economy and challenging situation, but we're adapting to that. And this is the most important point, that when you don't have this giga company, you can make faster decisions and be more efficient in this way. And this is why some giga company, I would say some of the top 5 companies in solar, unfortunately, they lay off 30% of their people. Because of this limited choice, limited flexibility, and all the establishments that put them constrained in this situation.
So usually we plan to go to your factory. You invited me to come. I was really looking forward to that.
Exactly.
So for everybody who doesn't know much about solar products, can you like give us like a walk through like the first step of this journey of this product till the end when it's installed with the client? What's the process like?
So first of all, we work with clients that have projects. So sometimes the consultants, they tell us, okay, I have this project with this power, what panel do you recommend? Then we work with our engineer team, and it's important to know we was also an entity in Paris that enable us to be present in Europe and in France, of course. We do the study together, then client at the end decide what products. So from there, we know the product that need to be produced, so we order the raw material. So being in very funny, I had the same discussion with the news Le Monde in France, and they were talking about competitive advantage, and then I say the same thing is like we order the raw material in the morning, we get it in the afternoon or the next day, so we don't need to storage the raw material.
Oh, that's so fast.
And then we produce immediately the solar panel according to our standard and the client demand. Of course, the product, we have the incoming quality control of the material, during the production quality control, and then of course when the product is finished. And then as fast as that, we produce, and within 15 days we ship out the goods.
Wow.
So
speed of China.
Speed of China, I would say. Wonderful being here.
That is amazing. And also congratulations, I saw you've just accomplished a huge project in Italy.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about how do you see the role of the government? Because I know years ago the government has played big roles in the solar energy. I mean, sustainability is a huge topic nowadays, and this is not only about China but even abroad.
This is where sometimes the Europe is criticizing too much China, but China really put all the necessary means to go toward renewable energy, and I have the biggest project in the world, so this topic is closed. But we have seen many governments pushing forward the solar. We have seen a big jump in France, where we know exactly what's going on, and we know that it will last at least for the next 5 years, so which is sustainable. Of course, in Germany, this is now in the culture of the people, I would say. So it's governmental, but it's become cultural when the government do the good communication, and when, of course, at the beginning they help. So all the world we have seen that the government have been more and more inclined and involved on people using sustainable energy, because there is a bigger demand of using energy, you know, with AI, with how many laptop and mobile phone we have in the house and everything. So everyone is more and more dependent on that. So there's no other choice than going towards sustainable energy and renewable energies that make people more and more independent.
Just talking about AI and new technologies, do you guys in your company use AI or any kind of like blockchain or these new disruptive technologies?
Sure, this is necessary. So as I always say, if we don't innovate, we die. So let's be clear and straight to the point. So AI is part, first of all, of our production. So
really?
all our production line is also managed by AI. AI, we set up the production and standard qualification, and the AI will make sure that it's well followed. We will be also notified on our mobile phone if we're on business trip or in our laptop of what's going on. So we know every day which shoulder is in production, how many is finished, what has the defect rate, if there's some, what should be improved also at the end of the day. So this is the most important, is how to use AI as a working tool. AI, as I say, is never our enemy, is our right hand, and I will say the ones that challenge us to be better. And of course we use it more and more with our salespeople. We train our salespeople and our marketing team to use AI on a daily basis, but not to depend on it too much. Really to use it when sometimes they are stuck on some point, because creativity should always belong to us. So this is very important.
That's good. Yeah, let's embrace it.
Exactly.
Talking about innovation, is there, like, how do you make sure that number one, you stay competitive within these 300 different companies?
Sure.
And do you have any new innovation coming up with your products?
Sure. So unfortunately, we're in industries that innovate too fast and too regularly. That means, and this is what created also the layoff sometimes, because you have gigafactories that need to replace big production line, and they don't have the ability anymore because they have so many machines. You know, innovation for us as a producer, what does it mean? It means change the machines. And each machine, each line, maybe $1 million. So when you have 10 lines to replace, you imagine. And sometimes the innovation was too fast that you didn't get your return on investment. So this is our unfortunate industry. But today we come up to an innovation which is called the TOPCon solar panel, solar cells exactly, that is producing higher energy with the same size of panel. Because before innovation in our industry was kind of small, they were producing bigger size and say, it's more powerful. Of course, it's twice my size, so it can only be more powerful. So now we come to limit the size and increase the power. So this is what we call the TOPCon cells technology. Of course, we follow this trend to become more mature, and now we know it's mature, and we bought the latest machinery to produce those panels. So we have those panels and we're selling it well. In fact, it's the most demanding. As for 2025, of course, now we talk more and more about perovskite solar panel, so it's another technology because
Okay.
perovskite is a material that is more available on Earth. But for the moment, we'll stay with the silicium, then that means with the TOPCon cells until we see what's going on. What we're doing for the future is just trying to increase the efficiency of the panel without touching the size. Because we don't need giant size panel, we need panels that are easy to manage even for the workers to manipulate, even for the users to have a smaller panel on their roof because sometimes panel doesn't fit very well with the house.
Yes.
So we are going really toward more and more this trend. Exactly.
Let's talk a little bit more about global impact, and then we're going to change the topic a little bit
Sure.
towards your private life.
Wonderful.
I mean, you are in 75 different countries nowadays, and I'm wondering, like, what kind of global impact is your company making? That would be my first question, and then I don't know if this is linked with it, but what's also your connection to maybe third world countries? I mean, in Africa, I think there's a lot of sun, for example.
Sure. So for Africa, it's very funny because the first project we did it in Togo. And that's why I have a strong connection with Africa and strong, I will say, desire to make more things there. We did, and it's a very beautiful story. We had a client who said, listen, I have this problem. I have many roads, but we don't have lights, and it's dangerous. And the people usually sell their vegetable, but they have to go home before before the night. So I said, okay, let's work on solar lighting. And then we at that time was like 15 years ago, and then we started some solar lighting projects that we designed by ourselves with my partner Alex, and we designed the lighting, we designed the structure and everything. And the client was not believing so much. I said, okay, try some samples, see how it goes. And he tried and he started to order, and he said it changed the life of the people. I said, how? He said, children go to do their homework under the solar light. Outside in the street. People sell vegetable, now they stay at night, they sell more. There's more security because people can see better on the road, etc., etc. And this client become a good friend with me, and we're still working together. And now a new project. He developed a lot. Now he developed a new factory in Togo for production of food, and he wants all the production to be solar. He said, I want solar because I believe in you. I believe that you can do the right thing. So this is the impact that we see in the life of the people, exactly. And it's a positive impact. Does that mean there's no monetary belief behind that? But there is a whole situation that changed for the people, for the inhabitants of country and of third developing countries that you mentioned. So there's really a big change on that.
Wow, so inspiring.
But it's inspiring. It's proud. It's my pride to talk about this story every time, about how we started and how we resolved this situation. And this became a model because after more and more people wanted the same things because they saw that it impacted their economy too. Because people being able to come later from work, being able to work at night in front of their house, kids using those lights to do homework and everything. So it was working very well. So that's why we're very proud of that, all the company and all the people, and we will continue to fight for that.
I can see the light in your in your eyes.
For sure. Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, because we've known each other a couple of years now, I think you do a couple of different ventures as well, not just like this one. How do you manage all of this? Because you're running a big company and then you do some other kind of businesses and ventures on the side?
So there is a we. There is not a me, there is a we. So there is a teamwork, first of all. There is delegating with the right people, training the people to be more involved in the business, making them accountable in a positive way. Building these beliefs that we have, for example, for EcoGreens, that we want to build a renewable world.
Vision, mission, purpose.
Exactly. So vision, mission, purpose. Then for myself, of course, I work with unlimited working hours, which make also the company go in the right direction. I'm trying mostly to support the team whenever they need. Even during the typhoon where we're talking to each other, during the holidays, during the weekend when there's a need, we're always available. So we try also to be very well involved. Everybody's, I like when we are all in the same spirit of work and spirit of success, I would say.
Sounds like a family a bit.
I would say more like same cultural of succeeding. I always say to people, no matter what you do, don't think only about this company, but think how about you can succeed in your life. I'm very proud when I see my employee got a family, got a car, I'm very proud. I say, congratulations, let's celebrate. Because I believe that success should be shared through with everyone. So this is very important.
That's beautiful. Now, let's talk about your family.
Yes.
Is it right you have 3 kids?
No, 2.
2, oh, okay, sorry. My bad.
No problem.
But I know that you're constantly every month on business trips all around the world, and with all the different ventures that you are doing. How can you be a dad, a husband, and run a successful global company? How do you balance that? Is there a balance, work-life integration? I don't know.
So as an entrepreneur, I think this belief is shared with many entrepreneurs and many coaches like Brian Tracy and others, saying that life balance when you're an entrepreneur is quite difficult, and I hope this can be a sign of success when you have more time. But I will say that it's very difficult to balance very well the working time and the lifetime. Family time, I would say, because you're always taken by something. It's a new project because, as we say, it's competitive, so you need to innovate, and to innovate is to be fast. Also, and to be fast means you cannot look at the working time, you just have to make it happen. What I say is like, result matter, know what you did. So that's why I try to see what I can do as much as I can, and not taking breaks and focusing on my work during the day. After, it's true that most of the time I come back at 8 in the evening at home, so kids sometimes already sleeping. So what I try to do is always wake up early in the morning and spend the family time, have a understanding with my family and the communication that help them understand my situation also. So every time I talk about the situation, I explain to them, I see truly the difficulty I face or the winnings I got. So they're all involved into that. So they are supporting me by having this clear understanding. The most important, I will say, is communicating and saying the truth to the family about where we are, what is the step, and why those business trips are necessary, what is the purpose. And I always say to my kids, when I'm traveling, always wish me success, because if I'm succeeding, then I can spend more time with you too also. So that's why I always try to put the positive into that, even though sometimes it can be difficult for them to accept that I'm not here. But what I do is all my weekends I only focus on my family and nothing else. So this is very important for me.
Okay, that sounds beautiful. How old are your kids now?
So soon they will be 10 and 8, but now they're 7 and 9. So in 1 month exactly, they will be 10 and 8. So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Exactly.
And you were all born in China, right?
Exactly. They are born in Nantong, where the factory. So I would say the first and second language is Chinese and French and English. So they're quite liking. And what's funny, my son was supporting China in the Olympic Games, so they feel very Chinese into that point. But quite good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Global citizens.
Exactly.
Yeah, and going a bit deeper into what are some habits, routines. I know you also do sports. Tell us a little bit more about your way of thinking, your mindset, these habits that basically make you a successful person.
Oh, successful, I hope soon, but
no, I think you already are.
But first of all is the good habits, I will say, and every coach, every supporter will say having great good habits. So of course every morning I go to gym, there's no question about that. 7 o'clock already in the gym and doing what I can. While sometimes I train, I try to listen to some podcast. So
you're gonna listen to Business Meets Life more and more.
Exactly. So this is very important. Is cultivate yourself when you have time. I like to read books also. So I try to read some old books like from Dale Carnegie, Peter Drucker, and many others, Jack Welch also, and many new one. I try Alex Hormozy and things like
Oh,
this.
yes.
So I'm trying to adapt to the new trend and old trend, and finding my place into that. I think we should never stop learning. This is what I say. I always say to people, and it's my sentence. I will say, I don't know doesn't exist. Or you decided to not know, or you don't know where to find the information. But the information is within the reach to the one who search. Exactly. So every time they come to me, I don't know. No, it's not you don't know. Search. Plus with the AI, I would say the information
So
is within the fingers. So this is very important. Is always to cultivate and to know and to be always knowledgeable. So this is very important for me. Is to never lose the touch with the today's world. And in fact, I was one of the first in the office to say, let's use ChatGPT.
Nice.
So because people were not so, I said, no, let's use Midjourney, let's use this, no, it's very important to stay innovative, and I would say this is where success can be met, is to always stay on time, So that's why, so I would say healthy routine. So nothing new, going to gym, eating well, of course not smoking or drinking casually. So those are the things that help me stay in a good health routine, and then staying knowledgeable is very important. So.
And I can definitely see this. All the successful people I've interviewed, they all have this in common: lifelong learning.
Exactly.
Same kind of mindset. You see it over and over again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, the day you stop learning is the day you already start to be obsolete as a person. I mean, you can never not have conversation with people who are already in the today's world. And it happened to me sometimes, like people talk to me, I say, and I question myself, and I say, okay, I should review that immediately and read this book or listen to the podcast, or ever ask ChatGPT to make me a summary of this topic. And then I try to cultivate myself very easily. So yeah, you have to stay on topic and always keep learning. I would say this is, and I think this is the aim of this podcast also. So hopefully people might be taking.
I'm sure you're inspiring a lot of people right now.
Hopefully.
So going back to your early age, what was some of the best advice you've ever received that you wish you had known earlier? Doesn't matter if business or life.
So what I wish to have known earlier is, first of all, for life is to understand that life is not easy, and you might get a lot of bad experience, but you have always to learn from it. And at the beginning, you are kind of tragic. Oh, this happened to me. My life is not easy, and this and that. Well, you can use it as a weapon, and here we have a lot of history to prove that. Michael Jordan not scoring when he started, and now being the most famous. Tony Parker was the same. So in any kind of field, it's like learn from the loss, learn from the difficulty, and this is something that young kid, even today, I will say young kid, people before 25, sometimes they give up, or they just take it as a tragedy. Well, it's a big lesson. I mean, if you don't fail, if you don't learn from this failure, you will never get somewhere. In fact, you will just be in this complaining situation where you don't look for a solution, or you don't say, what did I learn from that? And this is one of the things that personally I would have liked to be aware, or more aware, but maybe my parents were overprotecting, or something like this. In time of work, I would say is like, the first thing is find the right people, do your best, train them well, and make them follow your lead in your idea, in the conception. So and listen to the nature of the people. I had this bad experience where I was pushing people to become leader, to become this, that, and finally I didn't, because I wanted always the best, but without really understanding, are they capable, are they willing, are they this. So my wish always around me is to make people better in some way, or make them grow. And sometimes they are not there yet, or they want just to be focused and specialized in what they are doing and nothing more. And this is a big lesson I learned, that sometimes you have to listen to the nature of the people and spend more time to understand exactly where they want to be.
I've definitely picked up a lot of good leadership advice from you in our podcast today, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
You said you don't or I understood you don't consider yourself as successful yet, or you're talking about like success more in the future. So what would be the Dali definition of success and happiness?
Success, most of the people say, why do you do this, or how do you define success, or how do you find riches? I would say it's having more time, having more private time. And this is, and I say that not only for me, but for every single position in the company, in any company, is having more time. So when you have this more time, means you did good enough, or you perform well enough, so that you have more this time for yourself, for your family, as you say, for your friends, and this kind of thing. So for me, success is having more time, first of all. Of course, success is also having more people that you encounter, that you meet. It's very important to, meet good people that just will have the same spirit as you, or can have this compassion to you, listening to you, and give you some advice also. So success is having more and more of those good friends and good contact around you, because nothing can be done by oneself.
Yeah.
So this is very important. So I would say success is the combination of that. It is really this.
And I always see you very positive and very quite happy whenever I meet you. So what's your definition of happiness then?
Happiness, I would say, is being able to express yourself without filter to people, and having people in front of you understanding you without being hurt. And this is also very important, because happiness is when you don't put constraint to yourself, or you don't fake it. So happiness is having the ability to be more direct,
The authentic you.
Exactly, be the authentic you, who you are and where you are, and people having around you accept you for who you are, and you accepting also the people for who they are. And I think this is also sometimes I see people, they're happy, but deep inside they're not so happy, because finally they are not really true to themselves.
That's true.
So this is very, very important. And as I say, always have this solution mind driven.
Not French complaining.
No.
I didn't say anything.
No, let's not go demonstrate on the streets. But this is a little bit where I feel my place better in China. Sometimes is like, I don't have this complaint mentality. Or when people come to me and they have a situation, I always use this example of 1-3-1. That means you have one problem, give me 3 possible solutions, choose the best. So I always say that whatever situation you have, if you come to talk to me, we come for solution. If you just want to come to me to complain, I'm not here for that. And I don't have time for that. And of course, the same for myself. That means whatever I ask people to do when they're in front of me, I apply for myself. I always keep the basic leadership role is lead by example.
Love it.
That's it. Lead by example.
Which now brings us to the last final words to our listeners, because we've learned so much from you. What would be the last advice, the last summary of everything we just spoke about, the last words or last keyword for our listeners?
Thank you for giving me the last word. I would say is accept the situation as it is. You always have to question yourself what you can do. We have been in this situation of COVID and lockdown and others, and people always saying, because of COVID we couldn't do that, because of this situation we couldn't do that. So I always say to people, when you start blaming the situation and the surrounding and you question yourself, things get much better. And in fact, it proved to us that I say to people, let's stop talking about COVID, let's forget about COVID, or let's forget about this situation and focus on what we can do. And suddenly our results were much better. That means we stop finding excuses. We stop blaming, and this for personal life also. So stop blaming the situation because you cannot do anything about it anyway. But start asking yourself, what can I do better? How can I adapt myself to that? And this is the best. Even now today, people say, oh, the economy is not good, this is not good. Yeah. So, what can I do toward that?
And
How
every
can I...
challenge, there's an opportunity,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time with us, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Start connecting with Dali, and whatever you have learned today, start implementing, take action. And if you love today's podcast, share it with your friends and colleagues. Take care, guys.